Hi guys! Today we are going to learn more about comparisons. We are going to talk about compare and contrast. So compare and contrast is when you look at two or more things and say how they are the same and how they are different. We did this Venn diagram in class today. And if you remember, in the middle here, we write the things that are the same. And on each side, we write the things that are different for each thing. So here we are comparing and contrasting the city and the countryside. In the middle, we wrote communities, people, cars, trees, and beautiful. So these are the things that are the same. On the city side, we wrote buildings, taxis, urban, big, crowded, busy, noisy, and dirty. So these are words for the city. For the countryside, we wrote farms, tractors, rural, quiet, calm, and maybe a little boring. All right, now let's take these words and try to put them in a sentence. So again, we are comparing and contrasting the city and the countryside. So let's start with the green part, so how they are the same. The city and the countryside both have communities. So when we're talking about the same, we'll use the word both. The city and the countryside both have cars. The city and the countryside both have trees. The city and the countryside both have beautiful? Something is not right here. The word is beautiful. We cannot say that we have beautiful because it is an adjective. So what verb are we going to put instead of have? We're going to put are. Okay, there we go. The city and the countryside both are beautiful. Nice. The city and the countryside both have people. Yes, okay. But in class, remember I said the city and the countryside both have people, but the city has more people. Aha. And now we are going into ways that they are different. The city has more cars. The city has less trees. Okay? So we can use more or less if we want to make a comparison to show how they are different. The country has more trees than the city. So we can also add than here. The country has more farms than the city, okay? We can also say the city is more busy. And now the word busy is here. It's an adjective. So we can also say this. We can also say the city is busier than the countryside. Do you remember this? When we are making a comparison with an adjective, we need two things, er and than. The countryside is calmer than the city. So with adjectives, we can also put them next to another noun, like in this sentence. The city has bigger buildings than the countryside. So let's review, because I feel like I just gave you guys a lot of information. If you want to compare, you can use more or less than. And this works for adjectives and it also works for nouns. So you can say, the city has more people than the countryside. People is a noun. But you can also put an adjective here. The city is more crowded than the countryside. Crowded. Crowded means that there are a lot of people very close together in one place, like here in this market. You can also use the adjective plus er and then. So for example, the countryside is cleaner than the city. The city is noisier than the countryside. Okay, so we're going to keep practicing this in class. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. Bye-bye.